Isham, and then you did the stuff with Project Deadman. So what is it about the Michigan environment do you think is so like makes a lot of the artists have such wild, wicked, strange type of music?
Michigan is a strange, wicked place, man. Michigan is a motherfucker. You got to be, you got to be from city to city. You have to be able to adapt. Coming from Flint to Detroit is a totally different vibe. Coming from Flint to Grand Rapids is a totally different vibe. So you guys to know it's kind of like it's all one jungle, but certain sides got different elements to it. You got to know how to adapt in each side of the jungle, each place you go, type of thing. And I think that just comes out in the music, man. You know, if you from Detroit, you got a certain slang, it's certain words. Detroit guys, you in Flint is certain words and slangs and lingos and certain stories you could only tell coming from Flint. Certain stories you could only tell coming from Detroit. And you just gotta. It's a normal, natural. It's kind of like, why do you speak English? Because that's just all I know. You know, one of them things. That's what it is, man. Yep.
Okay. And then also too, you guys were starting to get with the Corrupt and Pastor Troy and C Murder, starting to get on some of these like iconic artists. So when this was starting to happen, how did that make you feel as a person, and what did you see differently in the game that you hadn't seen through the other collaborations you've done over the years?
Well, really, man, the game was all the same, no matter who we worked with, big or small. It was all still the same shit. You know, at the end of the day, for me, it was an honor to work with artists that I like their music. See, that's it comes back to that for me every time, the music. I like music. And when I looked up to Pastor Troy, I love his hooks and his strength and his energy, his push. So to do something with him was an honor. To do something with C Murder, I love the whole No Limit movement. So to do something with C Murder was the shit. And a lot of these things came to us through third parties. You know, a lot of those features came through third parties, purchasing verses here and there and making songs. You know, so that's how a lot of those collabs came about.
Okay. Fair enough. And then the difference too, like getting with the Insane Clown Posse for the charges of indictment with the tour and different things, it seemed like I've seen you talk about, or I knew you had talked about before, that they taught you a lot about merchandising and touring and different things. So why do you think it took that long, or why did it take that long for you to learn that business stuff?
I'm gonna tell you this, man. I realized in my long career that people are not willing to show you how to win. You have to fucking figure it out on your own. People don't just give you the formula to nothing, especially when it comes to making money and dollars, man. They were the best way to do it is to surround yourself with people that's doing it and learn yourself. And if you sit back and expect people to tell you their formula, you'll be waiting your whole life. People just don't voluntarily tell you, this is how I built this home, you know. But if you hang out with me, I'll show you, come watch me put the boards up, and then you can see how I did it. That's the only way you're going to get it. Because if you come after the house is already built, they will never tell you how they did it.
Now, why do you think that's the case?
I think people recognize the potential in other people. And I think that some people can see that if I give certain people my formula, they'll do it better than me. And that's just the truth. You know, some people don't like to share their keys to success because you might open bigger doors than they did with their keys.
But this is something I always think about, because let's say you and me, for instance, if I show it to you or you show it to me, if we're friends and we're coming up together and one of us gets really big, I would hope and imagine that you would look out for me or I would look out for you. But
that's not, the game is not that way.
I know.
The game is rotten and nasty, man. And everybody is considered a stepping stone. You know, I give you the game, but instead of stepping on my shoulders, then pulling me up, you would step on my shoulders and then jump up and leave me down. Don't even reach back, you know. And a lot of people are like that, man. So I can understand it. I understand why people don't give their formulas away. I was happy that ICP allowed us to see it. You know, we got to see it. I mean, that's the best way to learn. I mean, if a motherfucker show it to you and they not hiding it from you, then it's your duty to pick up on it yourself. Here it is. I'm laying it out for you. I'm taking you to the warehouses. You see just how we doing it. It's not easy for you to just pick up and do what I'm doing. You know, this took us 20 something years, 30 years to build, but you see it. You know, you got another 20 or 30 to try to build it though.
So how did what you learned from ICP, what stuff did you implement into what you do?
Oh, first off, man, we never even knew anything about selling merch. We didn't have shit with our platinum album, FBI. We didn't even have an FBI t-shirt or FBI logo or FBI nothing. What's on my mind? We didn't have what's on my mind shirts or jerseys. And once I saw that the name could be put on everything from a bowl to a frisbee, that changed my world. I said, God damn it. I didn't understand that. That's where the money is really at, is with the merchandising, man. So it was just a new thing for us. When we walked in the ICP show and we first seen all the shit, we saw thousands of pieces of merchandise. We were like, what the fuck is? And then we got over there and looked and like they name on all this shit. And it's everything from condoms to coffee mugs. I'm like, God damn, this is some deep shit. It's deeper than music. Yeah. And that's just it was just like a wake-up call. It just came so late in our career. And a lot of people around us knew about merchandising, but they never turned us on to it. They never taught us. We never got the financial lessons and, you know, do this with your money or none of that. We didn't get none of that. All the lessons we learned the hard way from losing it. That's how we learned.
Yeah, that is a hard way to learn.
Yeah.
Also, recently, I've noticed you've been doing a lot of stuff, or at least you had been a lot of political things in and throughout Michigan. What got you into that, and why? Why did you get into that?
Politics. After I became wise enough and I fell in love with politics because I realized how they played a role in everything in our lives. Every facet of our lives is a political component to it some way. And I didn't realize the power that our local officials had until I was too busy in my life to care about the lives of other people. But once I started looking at the Flint, Michigan as a whole, as a one big community and how the lives of the people were being affected by a handful of people, it made me curious about politics. And the more I invested my time in reading and learning about politics, the more interested I became. I didn't realize how all the pieces moved until I, really dug in and realized, the weight of politicians and the insignificance of them at the same time, but the powerfulness of them, but they really don't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? They have the potential to change lives, but all they do is stand in the way of change. The people that's in the position to change the most only block change. And it's just, I just like the way politics move, the way the pieces move around the board and the way, it's kind of like the streets, man. The shit cutthroat and there ain't nobody loyal and everybody switch up and, I'm on your side if it's beneficial to me. It's just like the streets and shit. That's why I guess I'm true to it.
Okay.
Just like being in the ghetto. The Senate and our house is just like the blocks, man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there it is. So what are you working on now that people should be paying attention to?
We are currently doing something that means so much to me, man. We are working on the Dayton family documentary. And we've been filming for a few months now. And we are going to give you, with this, we're going to give you every person that's part of the stories. See, we've told a lot of our stories, Dayton family stories, but this time we're going to bring you all the characters of the stories. So if we're talking about 79th and Halstead, everybody that was there, tell you their side of the story. So you won't just hear it from me, you'll hear it from all the participants, a lot of the making of the songs. You're going to get a chance to meet a lot of the people that sung our hooks. All you know is their voices, but you don't know their faces. So we're going to introduce you to the girls that sung FBI and the real, all the song, all of the Stick and Move, all the songs that people know. We're going to introduce you to the people that sung the choruses. We're going to take you in the studios and let you see the producers that played the bass lines. And we just going to give you a real in-depth look of the Dayton family, man. And it's going to be real. You're going to know us a lot better after you see it. Let's just put it that way. And I had 90 hours of footage from the ICP tour, the only tour we went on. So we're going to dive into that too in the documentary, the ICP tour, and gonna show y'all some amazing fucking footage of how we was partying back then and during the tour and shit like that. So
yeah, well, congratulations on that, man. That's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, look forward to that. What's do you have a home for it or potential?
No, not yet, man. Like I say, I always go into everything organically, man. And if God say it's supposed to be on Netflix, that's where it will be. If it's supposed to be sold out the trunk, that's where we'll sell it. So I just go in everything organically, man. Win or lose, I'm gonna do it my way.
Well, there it is. Well, Bootleg, thanks so much for coming through to Unique Access, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me anytime, brother.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
It will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV back with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.